Hey guys, my name's Erica with Retail Rogue. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to part 2 of how I made $4,000 in 2 weeks. In today's video, I'm going to pick up where I left off in my last one and fill you in on all of my final numbers. I also want to be as transparent as possible, so I'm going to be sharing some highs and lows that I experienced during this sourcing haul, as well as some quick tips and tricks that I think will help you guys out if you come across an opportunity like this. If I'm being totally honest, the past couple of weeks have been an absolute blur, but they've also been so much fun and honestly is something that every Amazon seller dreams of. I will link part 1 here, and if you haven't watched that video yet, then I definitely recommend you check it out before watching this one. It will just give you a better understanding of the full story and how all of this came about. But just to briefly recap, at the beginning of August, I came across a ton of different backpacks and lunch boxes that I was selling FBM. If you're unfamiliar with FBM, it stands for Fulfilled by Merchant. It just means that I'm buying the items, I'm listing them for sale on Amazon, and then I'm shipping them directly to the customer when they place an order. In the first video, I think I said I sold like 89 backpacks for a total profit of over $1,100, which honestly was amazing, but it gets better. After those first couple of days, I basically just made it my mission to go to as many stores as possible and find as many units as I could. So let me show you. So you can see I spent a lot of time and money sourcing at Gabe's. During this time, I also did some sourcing at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Staples, but I would say probably 97% of the units I bought came from Gabe's. And if you're unfamiliar with Gabe's, I think it's just an East Coast thing, but it's very similar to like a TJ Maxx or a Ross. Between Tuesday, August 8th and Thursday, August 10th, I went to 4 different stores. I bought an additional 166 units and spent a total of $3,500. Mind you, this was just on inventory. And just to put it into even more perspective, in a 6 to 7 day time frame, I drove over 700 miles. And honestly, this is probably my least favorite thing about doing retail arbitrage. Just the travel time and the wear and tear that you put on your vehicle. But I tracked my mileage during these trips, and the good thing is that I can use this as a tax deduction at the end of the year. If you're curious, I use the Stride app to track my mileage. It's user-friendly and is 100% free. Also, I just want to mention that this isn't an endorsement. I don't have a partnership or an affiliate link with them. This is just the app that I use and what works best for me. Now, let's get to the good part, which is probably why you clicked on the video to begin with. I'm going to share some screenshots and clips from Inventory Lab just so you can see my numbers and what I'm talking about. You can see here that my net profit per unit was kind of all over the place. I was making $5 on some backpacks and $30 on others. There were even a few orders that I ended up losing money on because shipping was just more expensive than I was anticipating, but that was a rare occurrence. Now, these numbers are from August 4th to August 17th, which in my opinion is kind of in the middle to end of back to school season. I bought a total of 410 units, which included 352 backpacks and 58 lunchboxes. I spent a total of $8,819 on these units. And then in this 2-week time frame, I ended up selling 400 units. Which is just absolutely insane. My product sales or total revenue was $18,800. And then my total profit at this point was just shy of $5,000. And just to give you an exact number, my profit was $4,927 for an ROI of 56%. Honestly, if you would have told me when I was filming my first video that this is what my final numbers would look like, I would think that you were absolutely insane. And I do just want to mention that this number doesn't include other expenses like shipping supplies, unsold inventory, and returns. So I'm going to go ahead and deduct all of my other expenses so you know what my true profit is. I spent around $300 on shipping supplies, which was mainly poly mailers and some boxes. I currently have about 10 units remaining, which is a total value of $200. And then I've had 15 different return requests come through at this point. And these were for a variety of different reasons. Some of them thought the bag was too big, too small, the color wasn't as expected, or it didn't arrive on time. But I'm also going to deduct the total return value from my profit, and the total return value was $482. But I'm not taking into account here that these returns should be coming back to me and I can hopefully just relist them and recoup some of this money. After I deduct all of these extra expenses, you can see that it brings my total net profit to $3,937, which is an ROI of about 45%. And to be clear, this is my true net profit and what I actually made. This is my take-home pay after everything has been paid for, including Amazon fees, shipping supplies, cost of goods, and other expenses. Now, I realize this video might make this sound and look easy, but I can assure you that it's not. Selling on Amazon is hard, it takes a lot of work, and there are a lot of highs and lows that come with it. So let's talk about them. To me, the highs of this experience are obvious. I made a good amount of money in a short amount of time. It also gave me a little push, or I guess just a little extra motivation to get out there and source more. To be transparent, my sales have been pretty low and slow over the summer, so this just reminded me why I enjoy selling on Amazon so much and gets me even more excited for Q4. I also got to share this experience with members in the Flips group, so it was really cool to see some of them have an increase in FBM sales or just use this as a learning opportunity to know what to expect next year. If you're interested in joining the group, we are running a Q4 promo right now. You can save $10 off each month for as long as you remain a member. The discount is applied automatically at checkout, and you can learn more over on our website, coasttocoastamz.com, but as always, the link will also be down below. Now, let's talk about the lows of this experience. So obviously the returns are annoying, but honestly, you can't expect to sell 400 plus units and not have to deal with returns or angry customers. Overall, I think my return percentage was somewhere between 3 and 4%, which overall really isn't bad, and I'll take it. Another low was that these backpacks literally consumed my life. It sounds dumb, but I would go to bed thinking of backpacks and I would wake up also thinking of backpacks. They were scattered all throughout my house, but it's fine, we made it work. And then the last low I can think of is just the overall exhaustion that you feel when the adrenaline and excitement is gone. I was literally nonstop for probably about 10 days. I would wake up, drive an hour or two to buy more inventory, drive an hour or two back home, and then pack orders until I went to bed. And to be clear, I'm not complaining, I just want you to know that it wasn't all rainbows and butterflies over here. Being on the outside looking in at this point, it was 1000% worth it, and I would absolutely do it again, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't exhausting. Like I've mentioned, I'm sure a million times before at this point, these opportunities are my favorite, but it can be very easy to get overwhelmed. So let me share some quick tips and tricks that I think will help you guys out. First, and maybe the most important, is to do test buys and go wide, not deep. FOMO is a real thing with selling on Amazon, and situations like this can go sideways fast if you're not careful. This could be an unpopular opinion, I'm not really sure, but I always list 2 to 3 units less than what I actually have. Obviously, it's better to underlist than overlist, but I like to do this just because it gives me a little room for error. And then the last tip is just to stay as organized as possible. Set up a nice workspace. I personally was set up in my dining room with 3 tables. I had my supplies on one and my inventory on others. I even try to take it a step farther if I have time and prep the items ahead of time. That way when I receive an order, all I have to do is seal the poly mailer and put the label on it. I really do feel like this speeds up the process, and it's just what works best for me. So anyways, I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know I briefly mentioned this in my last video, but we are working on something behind the scenes to help sellers out with FBM. I can't say too much about it right now, but I am really excited. So be on the lookout for an announcement coming, hopefully soonish. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.